Chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, the Yoga of Devotion. If Chapter 11 was the grand vision of Krishna's universal cosmic form, overwhelming Arjuna with awe and fear, then Chapter 12 now brings us back to the heart, from infinity to intimacy. Here, Arjuna, still trembling from the vision, asks a deeply practical question. Who is greater, those who worship you as the formless absolute, or those who worship you as a personal God with devotion? This chapter is not about cosmic spectacle, it is about relationship. Krishna reveals that devotion bhakti is the most direct, joyful, and accessible path to him. Unlike ritual, philosophy, or renunciation, bhakti transforms even the simplest heart into a vessel of divine love. Psychology calls this the power of love and attachment. The human brain finds strength in personal bonds. Neuroscience shows that devotion activates pathways of joy, gratitude, and resilience far beyond abstract thought. Logic clarifies. A river may flow in many directions, but it finds its fulfillment when it merges with the ocean. So too does the heart when it merges with God in love. Thus begins Bhakti Yoga, the royal path of love, where Krishna himself declares the qualities of his dearest devotees and shows why love is the highest yoga of all. Arjuna, with sincerity and curiosity, asks Krishna a vital question. In verse 1, he says, "O Krishna, who are considered more perfect in yoga, those who worship you with devotion as a personal God, or those who worship the unmanifest, the formless absolute?" This is a timeless question. Form or formless? Personal devotion or abstract meditation? In verse 2, Krishna responds with clarity. Those who, fixing their minds on me, worship me with supreme faith, they are considered by me to be the most perfect yogis. Here Krishna affirms the power of bhakti. Worship of the personal divine, with love and surrender, is the highest path. Psychology explains. The human mind connects more deeply to relationships than to abstractions. Love inspires endurance and transformation more than concepts ever could. Neuroscience shows devotion to a personal deity lights up regions of the brain associated with bonding, trust, and joy, creating inner resilience. Logic makes it simple. A child can love a mother but cannot grasp an abstract concept of nourishment. Relationship is the bridge to reality. In verse 3, Krishna does not dismiss the formless path. He says, "Those who worship the unmanifest, the imperishable, the all-pervading, the unthinkable, the unchanging, they too reach me." So both paths are valid, but one is more natural, more accessible. The path of devotion transforms the heart directly, while the path of the formless demands immense discipline and detachment. In verse 4, Krishna describes those who walk the formless path. They worship the unmanifest, the indefinable, the all-pervading, the unthinkable, the immovable, the eternal. This is the austere path, seeking the absolute beyond name, form, or qualities. Psychology says, such abstraction requires extreme detachment from emotions and senses, which very few can sustain. Neuroscience adds, the brain struggles to grasp concepts without sensory anchors, making it far harder to meditate on the formless. Logic shows it is easier to focus on the flame than on the idea of light itself. In verse 5, Krishna explains why this path is so demanding. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifest, the path is full of difficulty. The embodied beings find it very hard to progress this way. The human mind craves images, relationships, and experiences. Devotion offers these naturally, while abstraction can exhaust the seeker. In verse 6, Krishna shifts to the path of bhakti. But those who, dedicating all actions to me, worship me with unwavering devotion, meditating on me alone. Here lies the simplicity of love. Instead of denying human nature, devotion channels it, surrendering thoughts, actions, and emotions to Krishna. In verse 7, Krishna gives a promise. To those ever devoted to me, I swiftly deliver them from the ocean of birth and death, O Arjuna, because their minds are fixed on me. This is the heart of bhakti. The burden of liberation is no longer on the seeker alone. The divine himself takes responsibility. Psychology calls this secure attachment. Knowing you are supported gives courage to face life as storms. Neuroscience shows trust and devotion reduce stress responses, bringing calm to body and mind. Logic concludes, the one who surrenders the boat to the skilled pilot crosses the river safely. In verse 8, Krishna gives the highest and simplest instruction, fix your mind on me alone. Rest your intellect in me, thus you shall dwell in me hereafter. Without doubt, this is the purest form of devotion, total absorption in the divine. Psychology calls this flow of love, where heart and mind unite in single focus. Neuroscience shows, meditation on a single beloved form stabilizes neural networks, reducing distraction. Logic explains, when the compass needle always points north, the traveler never loses direction. But Krishna knows not all can sustain such one-pointedness. So in verse 9, he offers a gentler step. If you cannot fix your mind steadily on me, then by constant practice of devotion, strive to reach me. Here he teaches abhisa, steady repetition. Even if the mind wanders, daily practice draws it back, like training a muscle. In verse 10, he gives another path. If you are unable to practice, then engage in working for me. By performing actions for my sake, you will surely attain perfection. This is karma yoga in devotion. Serving, working, living for Krishna. Psychology notes. Purposeful service builds meaning. Neuroscience confirms. Altruistic action activates reward centers, creating joy and resilience. Logic shows. The lamp burns brighter when fueled by giving, not grasping. In verse 11, Krishna offers yet another step. If you cannot even do this, then surrender the fruits of your work to me. With self-control, act, and dedicate all results to me. Even without full devotion, one can at least let go of attachment to outcomes. This is the beginning of freedom. Finally, in verse 12, Krishna summarizes, knowledge is better than mere practice. Meditation is superior to knowledge. Renunciation of fruits of action is better than meditation, and from renunciation comes peace. This verse is a ladder. Practice leads to knowledge, knowledge ripens into meditation, and renunciation blossoms into peace. Psychology calls this progressive growth, meeting the seeker where they are. Neuroscience shows the brain rewires step by step, not all at once. Logic illustrates, a mountain has many paths, but each step upwards brings the climber closer to the summit. Now, Krishna paints the portrait of his dearest devotee, the qualities of the true Bhakta. In verse 13, he begins, he who is free from malice toward all beings, friendly and compassionate, free from possessiveness and ego, equal in pain and pleasure, and forgiving. Such a devotee is dear to me. This is the foundation, kindness, humility, and equanimity. Psychology calls this emotional maturity, the ability to love without selfishness. Neuroscience shows compassion activates brain circuits of joy and resilience. Logic explains, the tree that gives shade to all is loved by all. In verse 14, Krishna adds, content, steady in meditation, self-controlled, with firm conviction, dedicating mind and intellect to me. Such a devotee is dear to me. Here, devotion blends with discipline. Psychology names this intrinsic motivation, joy in the path itself. Neuroscience confirms long-term practice strengthens prefrontal regulation, giving calm focus. Logic proves, the river that flows steadily reaches the ocean without fail. In verses 15 to 16, Krishna continues, he by whom the world is not disturbed, and who is not disturbed by the world, who is free from joy, envy, fear, and anxiety. Such a devotee is dear to me. He who is pure, skilled, impartial, free from worry, and who renounces selfish undertakings. That devotee is dear to me. This is inner stability, untouched by outer storms. Psychology sees this as emotional regulation and resilience. Neuroscience shows meditation reduces stress responses, keeping the nervous system balanced. Logic makes it clear. The lotus floats untouched by water, though it grows in the pond. In verses 17 to 18, he describes further, he who neither rejoices nor hates, neither grieves nor desires, who renounces both good and evil. Such a devotee is dear to me. He who is equal to friend and enemy, honor and dishonor, heat and cold, pleasure and pain, free from attachment, this is balance beyond duality. Psychology calls this transcendence of ego. Neuroscience reflects that non-reactivity reshapes brain networks away from craving and aversion. Logic illustrates, the scale that tips neither way shows truth as it is. Finally, in verse 19 to 20, Krishna concludes, he who is content with little, disciplined, firm in faith, with mind and heart fixed on me, such a devotee is supremely dear to me. Those who follow this immortal dharma of devotion, endowed with faith, regarding me as the supreme, they are exceedingly dear to me. This is the crown of bhakti: simplicity, faith, and love. Psychology says the happiest people are not those with more, but those who need less. Neuroscience shows gratitude and devotion light up the brain's pathways of peace. Logic proves, the smallest lamp, when steady, can light the darkest night. Thus ends chapter 12 Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion. Here, Krishna reveals that devotion is not measured by rituals or wealth, but by qualities of the heart: humility, compassion, steadiness, and love. The bhakta is one who lives in peace, gives in kindness, and surrenders in faith.